not living their life, and then it's actually going to get them retiring by the end of the year. Do you think anything is going to stop me? Do you think any distraction? I don't give a fuck it's about my birthday. My birthday's going to come again next year. But my chance to live that life that I never thought was possible is today. And this is my why is so strong that I find it really, really hard to get distracted. Because I know this vehicle is going to drive me to where I want to go. So you need to have your why. Keep it at heart. If you're finding that yourself, you're getting distracted, if you're finding yourself disbelieving what you're going to do or questioning if you can do this, reevaluate your why, because your why is not strong enough, because it is not the drive. There isn't any pain in your why that's going to actually drive you. My pain is seeing me live that life my parents lived. My pain is seeing my parents work for the rest of their lives. Nothing will stop me from getting this, and nothing will stop me from achieving my goals and setting up a life that I never thought was possible. Now, this needs to be shared with as many people as you can. Because people don't care about what you do, they care about why you do it. People do not care about what you, they want to know what drives you. Anything you do in life, people want to know why. And to succeed in this business, the more people you can share your why with, the more people that know why you're doing it, they are going to follow you. They are going to want to go with you. They are going to support you. People see what I'm doing, and they don't sit there and go, "Oh wow, he's running a good business." People sit and go, "Wow, he's going to retire his parents. He's going to live a life that he thought was never possible. He's not going to be in that pain that he's been suffering the last 3 years watching his parents and watching himself doing that lifestyle." People want to know why you do it. People buy into your why. People will join you because they see where you're going. You've got something where they want to go. So this is the thing, guys. You need to be willing to share your why with as many people as you can. Because at the end of the day, the more people you share your why with, the more people you will attract. So, how to come across your why and how to make a why, okay? So it's quite simple. Once again, there is no need to overcomplicate your why. Really, it's where you work. I was at a place in my life where I grew up watching my parents work for 25 years. They left a war-torn country to come to Australia and to give me and my brothers a second chance in life. I grew up watching them work every single day, pretty much for my whole childhood. Did not even have time to spend with them like a proper family should. I then always promised myself at the age of, 14 or 15, I promised myself that I was not going to live that lifestyle. I was going to think of something, and I was going to do something that was going to make sure that I do not live that same lifestyle as my parents, because in my opinion, they haven't experienced life. They've experienced working for someone else, building someone else's future. And I always told myself, that's not the life I want to live. We only live once. And life is way too short to be spent doing on things you don't like. But I slowly started falling into their trap. I finished school, I got a job, I found myself working day after day after day after day. And that really started frustrating me, because what I saw was my whole goal was to set up a life that not to live the life my parents did, but I found myself falling into the same trap they did. So not only was I never going to get free then, I was actually going to dig myself in a hole and just regret for the rest of my life that I've actually not lived a fulfilled life. So what I saw with your health, and the minute that introduced me to your health, I saw a vehicle and I saw an opportunity that was potentially going to help me get that life that I've always wanted. I did not know how many days were going to do it. It was still new, but Dave had the confidence that this was going to be the next big thing. And I knew that if I did not get involved and this blew up, that I was going to regret it for the rest of my life, because I had that one chance to live a life that I never thought was possible, and I said no to it. For what reason? Because I didn't have a reason. I wasn't living a fulfilled life. Why the hell would I not do something different? And that's what I saw with your health, and that's why I decided to give it a go. Where I am at now, 21 months later, I've taken your health, I started your health as a third job. I now do it full time. I nearly make double, triple the money what I used to working 12 hours, 13 hours a day. Now I work from home, work with some of my best friends. I travel the world. I'm actually living a life that I've always dreamed about. I'm not there yet, but I can see a tunnel. I can see the map. I can see the end picture, and I can actually see that I'm going to retire my parents. I can actually see that I'm actually going to, live that life that I never thought possible, travel the world, have time with my family, let my family, show my family the world. All the things that I couldn't get as a kid, I see that I'm going to get this with this vehicle, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, and that's why even when it was my birthday, I just saw it as an average day, because I've got this one chance to make this happen, and I'm not going to risk anything to give that chance up. So, your second step then is your list. Why do you need a list? Well, really, without a list, you don't have a business. Because your memory is not as good as you think it is. No idea what that question mark said, don't ask. But your memory is not as good as you think it is. When I first started this, my head was racing, like all our heads race. Oh my God, this guy, oh my God, I know everyone, they're all going to be interested. But what ends up happening is you forget people. You forget conversations. You forget what that person said. You forget why that person wasn't interested. And your business is all over the shop. And this is exactly why you need a list, because it gives you a starting point, it gives you a direction. Once you actually have a list sorted, you can start, because you know your first step to this business. Ideally what you want to do is you want to make a list of customers and you want to make a list of reps. Sweet, what are you looking at? You're looking at your first starting point to this business. And you can actually track your business and see where your business is at. You need to track your results. You need to see what you're doing. You need to see where your business is going. Without having a list, without knowing what customers you talk to, without knowing what customers said what, without knowing who else you haven't talked to, sometimes you're actually going to look like an idiot by calling someone twice. Now, how professional does that sound? Hey man, I want to talk to you about this. Hey man, you actually talked to me last week. Believe it or not, guys, it can happen. The amount of people you sometimes go to talk to, you're going to look like an idiot. And who's going to take you seriously if you're calling someone twice? It's the worst mistake you can actually make. So without a list, your business is going to be hard. I'm going to tell you right now. Do not try reinvent this wheel with this list. A number of us have tried, and we've always come back to the list because it's the way it works. It helps you run your business. If you want to run this business all lolly-da-da and just go, yay, whatever happens, cool. Don't expect to make a lot of money. If you want to run this like a professional business, talk to any single professional out there and ask them, do they have a tracking sheet of their business? Do they have a list of referrals that go? Do they have a list of potentials? Of course they do. That's how the successful get successful, because they are organized. Organization is the key. So what you need to look at is starting a list from day one. If you do not have a list, tomorrow morning, or even right after this webinar, write your list. Write a list of people that might be interested in the product. Write a list of people that might be interested in the business. Start following that list. Constantly update that list. If you think of somebody else in your dreams, wake up in the morning, write them on your list. Okay? So then a few days later, you're like, oh, I never called Tim. Cool. I'm going to call Tim, tell him I had a dream about him, and we'll see what happens. But you're going to forget that unless you track everything. Unless your business is on paper and you know what's happening, you're going to forget. Now, the invite. Obviously, without the invite, you've got nothing. The invites, also enzymes, the whole thing is about enzymes. You need to build rapport. You need the person to feel comfortable. Okay? Then you need to create value, lock down a meeting, and then edify. Okay? This is, in a sense, the key to your business. Because people get started in network marketing, people try the products in network marketing because of you. Don't forget, this is word of mouth advertising. If they do not like you, they do not like your product. They do not like your business. Okay? So this is where building rapport is very important. Okay? Some people overdo it and try to build rapport by being their psychiatrist. That's just taking it too far. Build rapport. Talk to them for a little bit. Just get a little conversation going. While you're building rapport, create some value. See how this can help them. See why they need to take their time out of their life to come and see you, whether it's for health or wealth. You know, a lot of people go to me, oh, I invited somebody, and you know, they just cancelled in the last minute. And I just go to them, so why do they need your help? What do you mean? Like, how could your help benefit them? Oh, because it makes money. What would they do with that money? I don't know, they just need money. Well, why the hell do you expect them to give you a shot and take their time out of their busy lifestyle? Let's face it, everyone thinks they live busy lifestyles. Even by watching Big Brother 1.5 hours a day, that's apparently a busy lifestyle, but everyone's got their own value. So you need to give someone enough value to go and come and see you out of their busy lifestyle. You know, just talking to them about money is not always going to be the case. Yes, for some people that love money, but not everyone loves money in the world. Sometimes through building rapport, ask them the questions, get to know them, because really the only thing they care about is what's in it for me. How can you help them better their lives? Once you can help them better their lives, guess what happens? You've got the value that they're after. The ball is in your court. You've got something they need. Then you can lock down a time and a location. So man, I'd love to have a chat to you and talk to you about how we can travel the world together. You free tomorrow afternoon? I'm available after 4, and I've got to meet another meeting at 7. So let's catch up for a coffee then. Sweet. We'll do a switch and bound and gate. Man, dude, I'm busy tomorrow, so can we please make sure you do not cancel on me? After tomorrow, I actually don't have any time for the rest of the week, and I want to chat to you about this because there's a massive opportunity, and I don't want you missing out. I want you to travel in the world just like me and you always said we were as kids. Is he going to cancel on me? Of course not. Why? Because I've got something he wants. Same deal as about if we're talking to a customer. Hey, I want to talk to you about these products. Cool. Why should they come and see if you just want to talk to them about some products? Oh, I want to talk to them, I want to talk to you about this price that can help you lose weight. Cool. How do you know they want to lose weight? You can actually offend someone and get slapped for that. Find out. Have a chat to them. Hey, how you doing? How's your life been? Yeah, good. What have you been up to? Hey, you're looking good on Facebook. What have you been doing? Oh, well, thank you. I've been going to the gym. The general la. Oh, awesome. The gym. Oh, how's that going? Yeah, good. I love it. Losing a few more kilos. I'm really starting to feel good. Oh, so, do you have a goal weight you want to lose? Yeah, I want to lose 5 kilos in the next 2 months. Oh, yeah. So how's that looking? Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Hey, well, listen. I'd love to have a chat to you about it because I'm taking these products and I'm losing some incredible weight. I actually think you can lose those 5 kilos in the next month. Do you think that person's going to be interested? Guess what? They are. Why? Because they see what's in it for them. This is sometimes the key on the invite. What's in it for them? Keep that in mind, guys. Do not forget that. You need to give people enough value to come to you. If people have cancelled on you, if people have not been interested, if people have said, I'll talk to you later about it, or they've said, I don't have time. Well, did I have time? I was working 2 jobs at the time, 13 hours a day. Did I have time to do this? No. But they gave me enough value on why I need to do this. And this is the whole thing. So if you had someone say to you, I don't have time for this, you have not given them enough value on why they need to make time for this. We all have the same amount of time in the day. It just depends on what you do with it. Then obviously, if you give them enough value, guess what's going to happen? The lockdown and the location, not a problem. If you don't give them enough value, then you're going to struggle doing the lockdown, and then obviously with the location and the time, well, they're going to cancel on you regardless. But this is why you need the value, because you don't get the cancellations. You don't get the objections. Peter Lackwish talks about objections are made by you. What have you said to the person to get an objection? That's a real question. And then down the bottom, if you're actually bringing somebody with you, make sure you edify them, because that person is going to create the buy-in. Especially if it's a friend, and a friend that you've known for a long time, and they just see you as, a partier and some guy that loves to go on gym and just getting buffed and looking good in the mirror. Do you think they're going to take you seriously in a business point of view? No. They trust you and they respect you. You've got no buy-in with you. This is where you bring that third person along. But the difference is, you're not going to set that third person along like, what did we just say name? Ken, okay? I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to bring my mate, he plays footy too, he's pretty cool. Sweet. So he's going to look at Cam as a guy who plays footy and is pretty cool. Is he going to Cam going to have buying with him? If he builds it up himself really, really well, but it's hard to plumb your way up. Whereas if I say, hey man, I'm going to actually bring a friend of mine, he's been a part of the company for 21 months, he knows everything about the business. You know, this guy is top level staff, one of the highest earners in the company. Just actually picked up a new Audi from how good he's doing. So, you know, actually got, he owes me a favour. I'm going to bring him down because I want him to explain to you everything so you can make a fair decision. Do you think he's going to give Cam a little bit more respect? Do you think he's going to listen to Cam a little bit more? Of course. Because you have talked the shit out of Cam. So he's going to look up to Cam. You know, so this is the whole thing. It's up to what you guys do and the way you set it up. You can bring a guest, you can bring a down upline with you. But if you haven't edified that downline, you might as well bring your dog. Because it's very, very hard to bring yourself up to somebody that you don't know. It's the edification is the purpose here, and it's only from the invitees. And too many times, I see this happen over and over again, edification gets missed. And then your upline comes and does a presentation, and you might as well have done it because you really didn't edify. There's no difference between you and your upline presenting. So, obviously, the thing about inviting is a lot of people are scared to invite. Okay? Because most people think that if someone says no, that you're going to get shot in the head. You know, but really, what happens if someone says no? Nothing. You move on and you skip to the next rabbit. That's it. I have never ever seen anybody in my 21 months get physically hurt by a no. Unless like something fell from the sky and hit you in the head as your friend said no. But guys, no's don't hurt. No's is simply a no, not yet, move along. There is no need to sit there and sook about people that aren't interested. Sweet, they're not interested for the time being. Maybe you didn't give enough value because you weren't as trained up as you thought you were. So what do you need to do? Move on, get better, get better, get better, go back to that person. You know, so do not what you just gotta get your head used to know is not bad. And too many people struggle and think that if they hear a no, it's the end of the world. Someone's judging them. No, you hear a no, cool, it's not for them, move on. Instead of sitting there and sooking about someone that said no, turn that into a positive by going, all right, I'm going to prove you wrong. Now, do you think it was easy 21 months ago? We didn't have nothing, absolutely nothing. We were getting paid by checks and getting paid every 3 months. We had no idea if the product worked. We had no idea if the business was going to work. You know, and when people were laughing at me and saying no behind my back, you know, I could have sat there and sooked to my girlfriend about it and, you know, cried myself to sleep. You know, well, first that wouldn't be very manly of me, but anyway, I could have done it, you know, in the corner by myself. But if I did that, I was going to let all these naysayers win. I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to fucking prove these guys wrong. I'm going to make this happen. Hey, guess what? Guess what the naysayers are now, guys? They're too scared to put their heads up. So don't be scared of a no. All you are doing is giving somebody this opportunity. Whether they take it or not, that's up to them. You've done your due diligence and given them the opportunity. Now, edification. So, you know, we talked about this. I just talked earlier about edification to an upline. But edification really is about everything in general. Edification is everything. You need to learn to edify everything. Your upline, your sideline, the products, the comp plan, the culture, the industry. You know, edification is the best form of leverage you're going to get, because what we're doing is you're edifying everything around you that doesn't matter about you, because you're edifying everything else. There is a reason I put industry as being red. No, not because it's a bad thing. It's because I actually believe that this is the number one thing that should be edified more than anything else. What a lot of people do, they sit there and they talk about the company, how the products are so good, how the comp plan is next to none, hey, the culture, we have got the best culture in the world. But the problem is, it's not that they don't buy into your company. They actually don't buy into your industry. They don't buy into supplementation, whatever it is. This is the key, because your health is the roof. You need to build a house before you can put the roof up. If you edify the shit out of the industry, If you edify shit out of all these other network marketing companies, talk about supplementation, and you really talk to them about Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, and you're like, and these guys are really starting to see that network marketing is going to be the next big thing. Oh, and guess what, man? You know what the beauty of all that is? Not only are we in the fastest growing industry in the world, we're actually, my company just won the Rising Star Award last year for this industry, said to be the next big thing. Not only that, we just actually won a Leader in Business Ethics Award. So, man, it's going to be a crazy time because we're in the industry that's going to about to blow up. We're in one of the best companies. Because you built, that's the thing, the company's not the problem, the industry is the problem. So how much are you edifying the industry? If somebody thinks it's a pyramid scheme, if somebody thinks network marketing doesn't work, if someone thinks data needs supplementation, have you edified those industries well enough? Because if you have, 80% of the time, they won't question it. After that, guess what? Everything else is easy. They believe they need supplementation now because we just edified everything about supplementation, why it's necessary. By the way, we've actually got the best supplements in the world right now. They're actually clinically proven to work. Bang, it's a walk-in. Same deal as a business. So we need to focus on edification. One thing you should set yourself, if you want to take this seriously, it's up to you, is you should set a goal of edifying for 5 minutes every single day, just focus on edifying the industry. You know, focus on edifying the company. So once you take the next step up, the company's the way to go. You know, but you need to keep in mind, edifying the industry is the key to this. You know, I've just recently opened up England. And the one thing that I've been looking at with England, by the way, thank you very much to Aaron Asher for opening that up officially. I just leveraged off Aaron Asher's hard work and just got in. So, you know, but building compensation, wow. Could not get around my new rep's head on why this industry, he could not see it. Sent him building compensation, watched it twice, the guy is pumped. Because he can now see the industry is the next big thing. Yeah, so this is a whole key. How much are you edifying? You may not be edifying enough, and unfortunately, you haven't got that success. People won't buy into what you're saying, so you need to use a leverage of other people. Leverage off Warren Buffett, leverage off the Tom Plan, being the best thing ever, once you've got the belief in the industry. Oh yeah, and that one. Don't talk about anyone. Talking bad about other people is for the weak. Alright, so where's your attention? You know, a lot of people love getting stuck in detail. They love getting stuck in the ingredients of the product. They love getting stuck in the compensation plan and where the compensation plan is going. But unfortunately, most people don't give a shit about that. Most people give a shit about where they're going, how they're going to benefit, how this is going to help them. Generally, if somebody is asking you detailed questions, what that means is you're getting stuck in detail with them. That's why they're asking you back the questions. Okay? So, what I mean, for example, is you may have someone that's like, oh, but you know, how much milligrams of, I don't even know what ingredient, don't know, whatever's in the product. How many milligrams of something in the fiber, I'm going to make up a name, how many milligrams of Texta is in this fiber? Oh, yeah, it's 3 milligrams. Generally, they don't even know what that ingredient Texta does. They're only saying that because you're getting stuck talking detail into them. What you need to do is you need to share that vision with them. Find out where this is going to take them. Share that vision. Find out how they want to lose those 10 kilos. Alright, Jeff, man, we've got to catch up because I want to talk to you about how you're going to lose those 10 kilos, man. Because with these products that I take, they're clinically proven to work. So I can guarantee you those 10 kilos will go in the next 3 months. Do you think Jeff's really going to care about the detail? No, because you've got what he wants. Even if Jeff goes, oh, you know, so, you know, how do those products actually work? What's the exact ingredient in them? Well, Jeff, to be honest, man, me and you neither of us know. We're not scientists here. But the one thing that I do know is a lot of people that have been taking these products, you know, have lost some crazy weight. And they've lost it. One of my close friends has actually lost 75 kilos. So the products do work. Bang, back up the vision. Okay? This is where we don't want to get stuck in detail. I couldn't have got stuck talking to him about ingredients. Well, I couldn't because I don't know. But what's it called? You can get stuck there talking to ingredient, or you can go back up to the vision. Same deal about the business. Oh man, you know, I don't know if this business works. Well, man, that's what I thought too. If you saw Dave Nelson, what he's done in the 21 months, it's not that the business doesn't work, it's that the people don't work. Some people aren't driven to succeed. The ones that are, they live a life that they never thought was possible. Cool. There's no more questions about that it doesn't work because I've gone back to vision. But I could have sat there and had an argument with him or a conversation with him or a debate with him that was not going to get me anywhere. Now, what kind of business are you running, guys? What Rich Rep does, he runs a professional business. He treats this like a multi-million-dollar business. What a poor rep does is he treats it like a red lemonade stand. And these little things that a lot of people don't think matters so much. If I came to you with a business opportunity and I was looking good, looking schmick, and next to me, Nenad came next to me and he was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, who are you going to have more buy-in with? Nenad or me? Unfortunately, the world we live in now, people will judge you on appearances. People will look at you and they will judge you. So if you are going to treat this as a multi-million-dollar business, you need to start dressing like it's a multi-million-dollar business. You need to start acting like it is a multi-million-dollar business. Because what the rich reps do, the rich reps will become successful and start living their dream. The poor reps won't be successful and they won't be living their dream. It's as easy as that. Are you going to treat this like a businessman would treat their business? Or are you going to treat this like an amateur would treat a lemonade stand? Ask yourself this. Is what you've done this week so far, is that the same way Richard Branson would have run this business? If it's not, what makes you think you're going to be as successful as Richard Branson? If you want this business to be the next level business, the business is going to set you up for the rest of your life, it's time to start acting and treating it like an actual professional business that it should be treated as. If you actually look around you, look at the successful reps, look at the reps that are actually doing it, that are doing well. Look how much more professionally are they treating it than you. This is the thing. If you want to play big, if you want to make big, you got to play big. How do you play big? Play with the big dogs. Play with the businessmen. Treat yourself as a businessman. Don't get fucked around. Tell people straight out how it is. Do you want to be a little kid that's going to, debate over 25% on how much it's going to cost for lemonade? That's just the business you're going to run. So you need to understand is business people, the ones that want to treat this, the ones that want to be rich, they're only going to do it for one reason, because they're following the traits of the successful people. And that's the traits that successful people do. Now, the other question is, what time, don't know what says that time anyway, what type of mentality do you have? So the rich reps have a mentality of going into a meeting, I'm going to go in, I'm going to make this meeting my bitch, and I'm going to walk out, this guy's going to sign up. As a customer and I obviously know which one you're going into, okay? But the poor reps have this mentality of, I hope they sign up, I really hope that they see, that there's an opportunity. I hope, everything goes to plan. Guess what? Hope gets you nothing. A positive mentality brings certainty to your voice. Once again, people sign up because they believe you have what they need, whether it's a product or whether it's a business. If you go into a rep, talking to a rep, okay, and you go in with the mentality, I hope he likes his book, and you start talking to him, and he sees that you're uncertain. He sees that you've got uncertainty in your voice, and you're talking with energy, you're not talking with passion. Guess what happens? It's not that they don't believe in the business. They don't believe that you can lead them to where they want to go. This is where you need to go in with that mentality of, I'm going in, this meeting is going to be my bitch. He's going to see that I'm going to get there with him or without him, but he's going to join because he doesn't want to miss out. How much more certainty and energy are you going to pass on to that customer or rep that you're trying to get on board? A lot. We need to get out of these victim mindsets and, I hope that this, I hope. There's no hope in your life. You make it happen. Hope doesn't work. Luck doesn't happen. You make luck happen. If you got lucky, you've done something to make that happen. Okay, no one's just woken up lucky. So you have to ask yourself, am I not attracting the right types of people? Am I attracting the poor, that's everyone that has not got a sense of their name. What are you doing to attract that? You're probably treating this business like a poor person will treat the business, and that's why you attract it. Once you step up your game, you will attract better people. Read a book, it's called The Law of Attractions. It's a great book to read. You attract the people that you are. The energy that you bring out is the energy that comes back to you. So you have to ask yourself, if your business isn't where it is at the moment, what kind of mentality are you running it at? Are you waking up in the morning and going, all right, today it's going to happen. Today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to turn this into a multi-million-dollar business. Today's the day I'm going to sign up 3 reps. Or you waking up going, oh, I hope today I can maybe sign up. Maybe I can get a meeting. Oh, I hope I can do this. Don't fucking hope anymore. Make it happen. Because that's what the rich reps are doing. If you're sitting back and if your business is not where it's at the moment, it's because you're hoping too much and you're actually not making things happen. Because making things happen and successful people are the ones that make it happen. Everyone else, they do not get too far. Now, when you go into a presentation, are you treating it like the business person would? Are you treating it like the lemonade stand guy would? Are you prepared? Do you have everything that you need? Are you on time? Do you think Richard Branson's ever missed a meeting? Maybe now because he can. But do you really think when he was building his business to do the next big thing, when he had the vision of what he wanted to achieve, do you think he was on time? Of course he was. How do you dress when you go into a meeting? Like I told you earlier, unfortunately, these days in the world we live in, people judge you on all that. If you're looking like a bum, they're going to just straight away assume you're a bum, no matter what you say. How's your energy? And this is the whole thing where I was talking to you in the slide earlier about energy. If you've got an energy of hope, you've got an energy that nobody wants to be around. If you've got an energy of certainty, an energy of, I'm going to make this happen, an energy of, I'm going to help you make it happen, everyone wants to be around you. Have a look. Have a look at the people that attract the masses. Have a look at the people that actually get, all the attention. They've got the good energies. They've got the happy energy that everyone wants to be around. But that energy feeds throughout the room and people can feel that. And then are you clear on what you're about to do? Are you certain that this guy, if you go into a meeting unclear, if you go into a meeting like, I hope, I'm hoping, I think I'm going to turn this into, a full-time income in the next, 12 months. I'll do my best, but I hope so. I'm pretty sure. Why the hell would he follow you? But if I said to you, mate, listen, in the next 12 months, I'm going to be doing this full-time. I'm going to be living the dream, traveling the world, not worrying about an income. I just want to give you the opportunity to do this with me. So whether you like it or not, I'm going to make it happen. I just want to let you join me. How clear are you? How much buying, how much certainty do you have in the voice? Do you think people are going to join with you? Of course. When you go to a group meeting, what is happening when you go to a group meeting? Are you bringing a guest to a group meeting and then you're sitting there talking to your team? Or are you bringing a guest to a group meeting and talking to them? Seeing why they're there. Find out a little bit of information about them. Get to know them a little bit better. Help them feel comfortable. Help them feel, relaxed of where they are. They've just walked in a room with 50 people they have no idea about. You're not going to leave them stranded. Go introduce them to other people. Help them feel comfortable, because if they are comfortable by the time the presentation starts, they're going to be a lot more open to it. If they come there and you've just left them deserted, you haven't introduced them to anyone, they're just sort of sitting there all alone, you've lost it because they've already blocked it out of their heads before the presentation even started. And are you, that's the same. Are you asking them questions, or are you talking about how good you are? I know in your half, we've got a lot of good guys and girls and everybody. We're all a bunch of good-looking people that want to live a good life. But don't worry about that for the time being. Find out about them. The more questions you find out about them, the more ammo you have to continue later on. Okay? Are you at the front participating, or are you at the back on your phone? This is what I just don't understand. So many people, I'm having trouble bringing a person to a presentation, and hallelujah, one week, guess what? I saw that they brought someone to a presentation. And then, the entire presentation, they were on their phone. Now, imagine this. Imagine doing somebody's head in to come to a presentation. And they come to this presentation, you just made it look like it's the best thing ever. You've edified the shit out of the presenters. They're thinking, right, these guys are top notch. I've got to go hear these guys out. And then they come there and you're not even paying attention. You're on your phone. I'm going to call bullshit. They're going to go, what the hell is this guy doing? You know, so this is the whole thing. But the thing is, rich people won't do this. The businessmen won't do this. You know, but obviously the ones that run a lemonade business, the ones making lemonade money, tend to do it. So this is where we need to start thinking like the business people. What the successful people do, we need to start thinking like them. So then when it comes to opening, so the presentation is finished, you know, there's three parts to opening. You know, handling objections, no, follow up. You know, but at the end of the day, if you do not ask them whether they want to get started, you will never get a yes. Way too many people sit there and after a presentation, they're scared. They're scared to actually ask, so do you want to get a set? So what did you think? Do you want to become a rep? They think the people are going to jump to them. Look around you guys, we've grown up. I'm guessing that most of the people in this school probably been there, you know, 30, mid to 30s, you know, around that area, Gen Y. We've grown up and told what to do. You know, we're not used to jumping out and doing stuff. So why is this any different? Yeah, so I finished the presentation. Two things are going to happen. One, I'm going to sit there in awkward silence because my rep's sitting there in awkward silence. And B, if my rep is scared to even ask if I want to get started, how much confidence would I have in my rep that he's going to help me get to where I want to go? If you're scared to ask somebody to get started, you're showing weakness on your behalf. You're showing weakness on your business. At the end of the day, remember, a no does not kill you. It only means not yet. If anyone has been physically hurt by a no, please let me know. You know, but for what I know, it just means not yet. Move on. You know, the biggest problem that happens, so the biggest problem that I see happening here, I can't go back, is people see a no, and then they just drop it. They think it's the end of the world. Life moves on. They might not be there for them now, it might be there for them in 5 months' time, but we've got to just move on. But you want to get a no because you can move on. If you do not get a clear answer, guess what? You actually never move on. Now, handling objections. So obviously, you know, there's a lot of different ways to handle objections. The one way you don't want to do is form an idiot and you have no idea what you're talking about. We would not recommend that. We've tried that a few times and we never got to. You know, but ideally, the best way to handle objections is a three-part system. You want to acknowledge, you want to give a new perspective and re-establish focus. So, you know, let's just say someone says to me, oh, you know, I'd love to do this, man, but I don't have time. Well, listen, man, you know, I was actually in a similar shoes to you, probably a little bit worse, because I was actually working 2 jobs at the time, so 9 to 5 transport consultant, 5:30 to 9 personal trainer, and I actually didn't think I had time either, but, you know, when I saw this company can do and where I saw it can take me, you know, I had to find the time because I knew, you know, if I was living a life that wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to go, what was the point of pursuing that and wasting precious time? So I actually found a little bit more time, found a few hours throughout the week, and, you know, now, you know, I'm really living a life that I never thought was possible. So, man, you know, I'm sure we can find, you know, 3 hours a week to help you set up the rest of your life. You know, a little bit different to just going, what do you mean you don't have time? No, that's lying. You know, just acknowledge it, offer them a new perspective, and then re-establish the value. You know, here is some of the, you could call them objections. I tend to go back to what Peter Lakovich was talking about, is what have you said to give them one of these objections? If they've said I don't have time, it purely just means you haven't given enough value on why they need to find time. If they don't have money, you haven't given enough value on why they need to, why they need to spend the money. I actually had a girl take out a loan to get started, so because she saw the value in where this was going to take her. You know, so I don't have money. It's easy to excuse people use, and because the world's so broke, it's one of the main excuses people use. But it's just an excuse. Also, a pyramid scheme. Well, you haven't edified the industry well enough. I don't need supplements. You haven't edified the supplementation industry well enough. I don't want to sell. They think like they're being sold to, so you haven't given them enough value, so they feel like they're getting help and not being sold to. I don't have confidence. That's a little bit of a different one, but that's the one you just acknowledge. Well, you know what? I actually didn't have that much confidence, but you know, I might look like a guy that was confident, but you know, didn't have much confidence to talk in front of people, but It slowly grows, but don't stress about that because up until you grow your confidence, I'm going to help you every step of the way. That's it. You know, and all the concerns really come down to two things. Is this real? You know, once again, the company, the industry, the products. And can I do it? Number one is, once again, if you have edified everything properly, it's real. They've seen the product, they've seen everything, they understand why this industry is real, they understand why this company is going to get to where it's at. If they're judging something or they're not sure about something, obviously you haven't edified the industry well enough. You haven't built enough rapport for them to trust you. You haven't shared your why with them so they actually understand why you're doing this and why you're so passionate about it. And at the end of the day, can I do it? Will you help me? What are you going to do? Like, at the end of the day, let's face it, a lot of people have grown up not believing in themselves. You know, this is where you need to keep on reassuring them in their heads that you are there every step of the way. You know? And let's just get going. I can promise you right now, me and you, we're going to do this every step of the way. Every single step of the way, we're going to be together and we're not going to stop till we actually get there. Bang. He wants to work because he knows that you've got something and you're going to help him get it. You know, you need to keep on reassuring these people because, you know, trust is a big, big problem in the world today. And, you know, you need to build that trust and reassure somebody that you're going to help them get to where they want to go. You know, sometimes, you know, you need to dig for problems to provide a solution. You know, someone's like, oh, I'm going to go think about it. Yeah, you can say, let me go and think about it. That's what the poor actually do. What the rich folks going to say is, well, okay, no worries, but what exactly do you need to think about? Because, you know, I can potentially give you the answer after. Oh, I don't think I have time. Okay, well, let's sit down and, you know, we'll have a chat and I'll show you how minimal time actually you can start doing stuff. Sweet. Find that solution, dig for it. People just know I need to think about it. What do they need to think about? Find out. Because I need to think about it, it's not even an excuse, I don't even know why people let someone get away with that. You know? And then once you have that, you have what they need to think about, just offer a positive solution to the negative. Oh, I don't know if I can do this. Alright, well, let's sit down. You know, so how many friends do you actually know that you need to get healthy? Yeah, few. So how many friends do you know that need to make more money? Yeah, few. Okay, well, see, this is what we've got the pillar to get you started. You just need to have a chat to your friends. I'll get you trained up. I'll get you everything you know, you're going to understand. I'll leave you every step of the way. And all we're going to do after that, man, is have a chat to your friends, you know, and we'll actually present to a meeting together and we'll see what their thoughts are on it. You know, but you sit yourself, you've got a few people together that have mental health and wealth. You know, you can do it, you know, you just don't know it. Sweet. I just dug out a solution, you know, give them a really positive outlook on that solution. You know, highlight gains of values. Mate, what have you got to lose? You've told me you're working a job that you hate. You've told me that you're not making the money that you don't want to make. And now you're telling me you're going to think about this. What's in a lose? It's a 3-day money back guarantee. Try and change your life in 30 days. What have you got to lose? You know, for me personally, you know, was it a risk of not getting involved or was it a risk of getting involved? I wasn't living a life that I wanted. I was angry, I was fed up. I wasn't making the money that I needed. For me, it was more of a risk of not getting started. The risk that rather than getting started, because if I didn't get started, I wouldn't be living this life. So that was, for me, was more of a risk of not getting started because I had an opportunity to change my life. You know, I need to really dig for those solutions. You know, like people like this, they're doctors. We need to diagnose, help find the problem, give them a solution. You know, if you go to a doctor and go, oh, I've got a stomachache. The doctor generally asks a little bit more questions about that stomachache to see what kind of stomachache. And this is what I don't think it. I'll think about it is. Alright, what kind of I don't think about it? I mean, I'll think about it. Cool. Now, this smiley face means I'm going to try a video again. I just want to see how this goes. Let me know if it lags, guys. If it just starts lagging, I'll go to the chat box back. Just let me know, guys, it's on the chat box. Cool. So at least what I've heard, the audio was good, that's the main thing. Now guys, when we first started Your Health in Australia, now that was one of the videos that I watched, nearly every single day because it was hard. We got people trying to rain on our parades all the time, and it was that video that I usually always used to watch that just brought me back up. And people will always judge you, people will always see where you're going, and they'll always have something to say. So I wanted to add this slide in because if you think this business is all sunshine and rainbows, you've got another thing coming. Prepare yourself for people to try and bring you down because it makes them feel better. That people hate knowing that you're about to do something in your life and better your life, and they're going to be left behind. So that what they're going to do is they're going to try to bring you down. And you need to be prepared for that. You really need to prepare yourself for every single challenge out there. And this is why your why needs to be strong. This is why your why is going to keep you going. Because every single one person that tries to knock you down, your why will bring you straight back up. Your why is your sunshine and rainbows. And when things get tough, you'll see that sunshine, you'll see those rainbows, and you'll keep on going. You have to just ask yourself, is every single person that's actually, saying no to you or trying to bring you down, are any of them living a life that you want to be living? Why would you then even listen to them? It was all the brokest people, it was all the most unsuccessful people that were telling me I can't do this, trying to make me feel shit. But a few of my friends who are actually doing quite well said, hey man, you're onto something, but let's face it, that's only 5% of the world. The other 95% will judge you. So you need to understand that it's simple. If you listen to the poor, you become poor. If you listen to the rich, you become rich. You need to understand this, and you need to help the new reps understand this. You need to help them understand why they're doing this and what it's going to take. The biggest issue I see is people saying, hey, it's going to be simple. Everyone's going to love doing this. It's just going to be simple. We have a problem. One person tells them it's going to be, this is so stupid, they're wasting their time. Bang, you just shot one horse in the leg. And the problem is with a horse, you shoot it once, it's hard to recover. You need to go, listen, this is going to be hard. I can tell you right now. But I'm prepared to do whatever it takes, and I know in the next 3 years, if me and you stick through this together, if we and you stick through the challenges and keep our eye on the prize, we're going to both be retired. We're both going to be living those lives that all these people doubting us are only going to wish for. So I wanted to let you know this because I wanted you to be prepared for it. You want to prepare somebody for the worst. So anything extra happens, it's a bonus. You may have to talk to 10 people to get one person interested, but that one person could change your life. They talk to 3 people and one gets interested. Guess what? They are over the moon because you didn't overpromise something. So many reps at the start, overpromise everything just to get someone signed up, but unfortunately, they underdeliver on those promises. So this is where we come on to sniping, and a lot of people snipe. So for those that heard my webinar, the Menno's webinar this afternoon, tonight, he talked about our parents and how our parents didn't think it was such a good idea. Well, unfortunately, my parents weren't living the life that I wanted to live. And if I listened to them, if I believed in them, I would still be working. So you have to ask yourself, just because my parents were 100% genuine, false evidence appearing real, they were 100% genuine about what they were saying, because it's what they believe. But is it the right thing to believe? Because if you believe into their philosophy, you are going to live their life. So we have to understand, people are I hate saying this word, susceptible to negative influence of other people. So I was going to teach you how to say that word. So what this is people are going to try to bring you down. People are going to try to bring the reps down. So if your rep comes to a presentation and they want to go, I want to go talk to my husband, I want to go talk to my wife, you've got to have to understand that you need to prepare them for it. But obviously you don't want to tell them that their dad's stupid or their mum's stupid or something like that. So for example, let's just say they go, oh, I want to go talk to my parents about it. I'm like, oh, cool. So, what does your dad do for a living? Oh, he's a truck driver. Okay, so has your dad actually ever run a business? No. Okay, well, listen, in my opinion, my dad actually told me this wasn't working either, and this wasn't going to work. And I actually, thought about it, and I was like, hold on, if I listen to him, I'm going to actually start living his lifestyle. So, I actually decided to take the opinions of some of the most successful people out there, and thank God I did, because now I'm taking those steps, to live that life. So, your dad probably is going to have the best interest in heart, and probably is going to say, not to do this. But you have to ask yourself is, how much does your dad actually know about the industry? How much does your dad actually know about the company? If he doesn't, why would you listen to his actual decision if he's actually not living the life that you want to? But anyway, that's your decision. And I just wanted to tell you my thoughts on that. Cool, I'm preparing it for it. She goes home. Dad goes, oh no, that shit doesn't work. I'm like, actually, Mum, how much does your dad actually know about that? Cool. If you don't prepare him for that, Dad says that shit doesn't work, guess what? She believes that shit doesn't work. This is what we need to do. We need to prepare people. For example, after the presentation finishes, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to go home and do some research. Oh, awesome. Is there anything you need to help me, is there anything you want me to send you, just so I can cut down your research a lot quicker? Oh yeah, just send me this quicker. Awesome. Well, listen, just let me also know if you Google Your Health, you're going to probably see a link there that says Your Health Scam. It's just a stupid forum. It's just written by random victimless poor people, and they just have nothing but a whinge. Like that's why they're so broke. Because they just whinge about everything. Just keep that in mind. I just want to let you know so you don't get go crazy about it. You're gonna have to compare a forum to the BSA. But I just want to let you know about that. So what happens there is she sees it, and she's like, oh, that's that thing Marko told me about. Cool. She's prepared for it. Not tell her about it, and then she signs up, and then she gets home, and she sees Your Health's a scam, and her heart drops. It will be very, very hard for you to bring that heart back up once it's dropped. So we need to prepare people for what they're about to go. So in a sense, you're preparing people for the outside world. Because the outside world is a dark place. So follow up. In my opinion, one of the most important things. If you want to be successful, you must follow up. No questions asked. Most sign-ups happen from about 4 to 7 points of contact. Okay? But the problem is, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to just bring somebody and they're going to see the presentation and they're going to sign up and that's how it works. Tell you right now, it doesn't. You need to keep those point of contact. You need to keep them chatting to them until they've said no and no to your face. If I actually show you one of my conversations I'm having with a guy from America, I'm just, hey, how are you, man? Hey, how are you, man? Hey, man, what's going on? Hey, how are you, man? I'm just doing that every single day up until he says no. Every day up until he says no, I've got all the right to do whatever I want to. I'll go back to him in 6 months anyway. But this is the whole thing, is we need to keep them chatting to people. It may not be here for him tomorrow, that's cool. But what we need to understand, if it's a no today, it doesn't mean it's a no 6 months down the track. In the sales world, when I used to work in the transport sales, I had a list of 300 companies. My job was to just go through, filter through those companies on a daily basis. So I'd call this company today, he wouldn't be interested in transport. I'd call them the following up, hey, Marko again, not interested, they hang up, cool. Call me 3 months later, hey man, Marko, how's it going? And then eventually, man, what do you want? I'm like, I just want transport. And but we need to keep going. So when people tell me that they're out of contacts, seriously, that is the number one thing that drives me fucking nuts. You cannot be out of contact. There is no chance that you have followed up with somebody 10 times. Just because they've said no once, guys, does not mean it's a no forever. The guy that actually we're about to get started in England on Monday, they talked to him 20 months ago, he said no. I talked to him 12 months ago, he said no. I talked to him again 2 weeks ago, he said yes. That's the thing. This is why the rich reps are rich. Because they don't give up. The poor reps are poor because they're like, oh my god, it's a no! You're never going to be interested! Big deal, move on, it's a no for now. Move on, show your tracks. The reason David's going to be joining me and Dave and helping us pioneer England is because even though he said no, he's followed us on Facebook. He's followed us and he's seen our success. And that's why he now wants to join. So it's up to you. If someone says no to you, what are you doing to make them actually sign up the second or the third or the fourth time? That's my question. You need to show these guys that you're doing this without them so they want to actually sign up. You know, it's the persistency. The persistency is the key. Cam talked to Cole Stagwell 5 times, I think, and I think Cole said 3 out of 3 of the 5 times they called up, he said no. Do you think it was worth Cam giving it another shot in Kyle? I think it was. You know, and this is where the rich reps is exceeding, because the real rich reps are going out there, they're just getting shit done. Whereas the poor reps are sitting there but not having contacts. That's amazing. So, this is the weekly system, okay? At the end of the day, we're building this so it's like a franchise. So when we stop, it can keep on going. You know, McDonald's, 29,000 of them Australia-wide. I mean, worldwide, you should kill us if it was Australia-wide. You know, 29,000 Australia worldwide. You know, so this is the whole thing. What we're doing is we're making a system here so we can duplicate, and so we can have 1 billion of them worldwide. We can have 1 billion systems running, and you know, reps all around Australia and Melbourne and Brisbane all running the same system. So this is our system, okay? So all meetings connects. They're essential. They're the kick you need. You sharpen your sword, you get things going. The city presentations, the rich take advantage of the city presentations. The poor sook that they can't bring anyone. That's cool. Can't bring anybody. Go find out. Go see how these guys are presenting and see what you're not doing. Instead of sitting there and sooking and sitting at home watching Big Brother, go find out what the successful people are doing and learn from them. Basic training, just like this webinar. It's run every single week. You know, I've got a little bit on the board today with time, but I just had a little bit of information I had to add on. But your training is here, 100% club. For part-time, 5 presentations a week. Full-time, 10 presentations a week. You know, the rich reps follow the system. The poor reps, they make every excuse in the book about why they can't follow the system. So the next step, guys, you guys all know this. Start inviting. What you've learned today, adapt those skills. Start inviting. The first 1,600 in your first 28 days, bang, you got yourself rising start. Then get the ball rolling, get all your new reps trained, get them going, get 6 rising stars in a month, bang, you got your luxury car bonus. Duplicate these guys, and you're going to be making some serious money from the word go. Oh, actually, yeah, you guys know how to do it, I lost track there. So that's that. We need to just run the system, we need to get things going, and we need to get the ball rolling. Make sure we follow up with SCs, because too many people sign up an SC and they think, oh, that's it. Hey, that SC may want some free product. Let's organise an extra presentation to get those guys their free products. One of those guys getting that SC might organise for a presentation for could be the next Dave Nelson. You know, let's not break any claims. We're doing really good in Australia at the moment. We've worked really hard to get where we are, and you know, so let's not do any stupid shit. It's going to help everyone, damage everyone else, and not get our businesses anywhere. You know, always make sure you're doing the right thing. Always provide income disclosure statements. Always make sure you tell your customers about ownership. It's nice and simple. Let's not get lazy. That's the income disclosure statement. And guys, one life. We have one life. You have the opportunity to create the life you never thought was possible. You know, but you have to ask yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing to get out of my comfort zone for the universe to give me what I want? If you want a lot out of life, you need to show the universe that you want it. And by getting out of your comfort zone as much as you can, and every single time you get out of your comfort zone, you will get a lot. Too many people in this world want it all, but don't want to work for it. That's why they're poor. You know, the opportunity to live a life that you only dreamt of, so don't fuck it up. This is your one chance. This is my one chance to create a dream life. Do not stuff it up. We know what we need to do. Let's get that ball rolling and let's make this shit happen. Because at the end of the day, we're entrepreneurs. We're here to live life, to live a few years like most people won't. People call me crazy, and I love that they do, because I'm doing something that they don't want to, which means I'm setting up a life and going to live a life they always wanted to. This is what it's about. Don't everyone thinks they're entrepreneurs. Half of us make sure we're entrepreneurs. The other ones, as Dave says, entrepreneurs. So you've got to decide, are you an entrepreneur, that you want it all, are you going to be an entrepreneur, are you going to live those few years like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of life like most people can't. It's your life. We're going to get there with or without you. I'm hoping we get there with you because we've been around for so long. We've been doing this together, and this is what it's about. We want everyone to succeed and live a happy life. Guys, that's it from me. Hope you guys got something out of this. If I hurt your feelings, that's unlucky. Anyway, hope everyone had a good night, and we'll talk to you all again shortly.